Dominick Tarczyński, the Polish politician who is against Islamic immigration to Europe, he is going to comment on the PBD podcast. I'm excited to see this. I'm Tall, your favorite white colonizer, traveling clad. Let's check it out.
Country has taken on the most Muslims? The millions that have come in, what country took up the most? Is it UK or
UK is a different story. I would say Germany, Sweden. You have to remember there's no-go zones in Sweden now.
UK is different because of Brexit, or UK is different because of the way they...
I think it's different because, first of all, because of the Brexit, but also you've got third and fourth generation of Muslims in England now. Problems, when you see, that's the data. When you see the history of Great Britain, it's a little bit different because you've got, as I said, third and fourth generation. But when we are talking about the Muslims coming from 2015, I would say Germany, France, Sweden, Italy a little bit, but Germans, they have the biggest problem because Angela Merkel was inviting them. Refugees welcome. Obviously, they are not refugees. I'm trying to repeat it every single time. There is a legal difference between refugee, between term refugee and migrant. Refugee, by the international law, is the person who flees to the first safe country from the country of conflict. So like Eritrea, Somalia, it's not a neighboring country in Poland. You know what I mean? So they are migrants, and the worst part of it is that we know that Putin is using these illegals as a part of the hybrid war. We had actually serious attack, a war on our border. Like thousands of them attacked our servicemen. So we had to react. We built the wall. And I think that the difference between our Polish conservative government and the rest of the world is that we do, then we talk. In many places, unfortunately, under Biden administration, the first question to Kamala was, "Did you go to the border?" She says, "Did you?" She says, "Oh, I didn't. I didn't go to Europe either." You know, the silly, stupid answers. So it is a serious threat when you see data from Germany. There is a very special committee on the parks in Germany, because you cannot go out after 10 o'clock, because after 10 o'clock there is so many rapes in the parks. They had a summit of police and other services in Germany what to do to let girls go out after 10 o'clock. And when I'm trying to bring the data in the European Parliament, they are furious. They don't want to listen.
But let me ask you. Okay, so since 2015, Germany took on the most. If you pull up the statistic data that I just sent you, Kelly, I sent you a link in text. If you can pull it up, the statistic data says that projected number of Muslims by 2050 and right now in 2010 was 4%. They're saying by 2050, which is like 16 years from now, it's going to be around 20%. They're going to go from 4% to 20% is what statistics say.
It's going to be more, but okay.
Okay, so let's just say it's 1 out of 5 is going to be 20%. How has that positively impacted Germany? How has that negatively impacted Germany?
I can't see any positives.
No positives.
Like what? They don't pay taxes. They don't want to work. Most crimes committed, percentage-wise, committed by illegal migrants, mainly Muslims. That's the data. So what kind of enrichment it is? I can't see any positives. They ask me. They still trying to picture me and call me Islamophobe. If that would be non-believer, if that would be a Chinese community or Indian or any other, I would say the same by the data. The data is very, very, very straight.
Very clear.
Most of the, let's say 46% of all crimes committed in Sweden is committed by the Muslims under 18. Under 18. 72%, that's Interior Minister published the data, committed in total by Muslims. How come? If they are 20% of the society, why over 70% of crimes are committed by Muslims? So when you ask me about positives, I really can't see any.
Why do you think, though? Why do you think that's happening? Is it because, like, when you in 1978, 79, when early 80s, late 70s, when Jimmy Carter was a president, he was going after, hey, human rights, Cuba, you're doing this, and all of a sudden he sends his 125 political prisoners, and that's where the movie Scarface, Tony Montana. Is it because they're not sending their best, or why do you think it is?
Because they hate us.
Who hates us?
Muslims hate us, and they do not even hide it. There is a very famous video of the guy on the streets in Germany who is having a conversation with the German guy, and he was like, we are taking over this country, your daughters will be our slaves, and we will take this country over by the number of children. You don't have a children?
Who said this?
One of the Muslim guys. I'll send you a link.
Is this Canada? Because I've seen that if it's Canada.
Maybe it's Canada. Maybe it's Canada. Maybe it's Canada. But the way of thinking is the same. The mentality is the same, because in Germany, one of the clerics said that they will take over this country by the numbers of children. So if you have a plan, which is called Hijra, right? Taking over the land by the numbers. I think it comes from mentality, from the way of, well, you see, in our Christian world, mercy, forgiveness is a very big part of our way of thinking. For them, the most important is revenge, war, and violence. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm sorry to say that, but
it's the truth.
All this calling for terror attacks, for the holy war. We don't have it in our mentality. We know that. But the problem is that politicians are scared to say that out loud. I'm not scared. We know the difference. The difference is that we are ready to forgive. We are ready to say sorry. We are merciful. We know that we commit sins, and we are ready to say that we are weak. For them, the most important part of their life is holy war. This is what they do. In many ways. With a knife, with a sword, with the bombs. And it happens throughout the years. I'm not going to go centuries back, but we know what is happening. I was on Al Jazeera. They invited me to have an interview. And obviously they asked me, why do I think that they are a threat? And obviously the guy says that not every Muslim is a terrorist. Not every Muslim is a terrorist, but most of the terrorists are Muslim. It's a fact. So they're trying to reverse the situation and the meaning of the words and the data. Obviously, not every Muslim is a terrorist, but most of the terrorists are Muslims, and that is a fact. So what we need now in this world, what I believe that politicians needs in this world is just honesty. Be honest. Say as it is. Do not be afraid. I have this impression that most of the politicians are afraid of open discussion, honest discussion. Mm-hmm. They are scared that they will be stigmatized by one or the other group. I don't care. I really don't. I know how it is. I speak with my neighbors, and everyone is just terrified. It's what is happening now is a fear. Different kind of fears. COVID, They try to fear the whole world.
Okay, well, he's getting a little bit off
that.
topic, but I think the main point he's talking about, fear of retaliation, fear of actually speaking your mind, fear of saying the truth. A big part of it is like what we've just discussed that happened recently, where there was like these terror cells, these sleeper cells in the streets of America and the West, and everybody's like, I don't want to fight Israel's war in Iran. I don't want to fight for the Jews. I don't want to die for the Jews. But we have sleeper cells in our society, so stay quiet and don't criticize the Muslim extremists that are moving to this country in mass. I don't want to die for the Jews. I don't want to die for Israel. But we have to be very respectful of all our Muslim friends, because we do have sleeper cells embedded inside of our society that may do terrorist attacks, Islamic terrorist attacks against us if we say anything even slightly critical about Islam or Muslims. I don't want to die for Israel. I don't want to fight for Israel. But we'll have to be very, very extremely respectful of every single Muslim, no matter if they chant death to America, death to Israel, no matter if they chant for the Houthis, who's on their flag, it literally says death to America, death to Israel, curse on the Jews, Islam is the victory, victory to Islam. Please don't offend them. But I don't want to die for Israel. It's the ideology. Props to this guy. I don't know what to say. Me and this guy me and Dominick could not come from further backgrounds, like ethnically, culturally. We're probably extremely different human beings, but I have to respect the fuck he's saying. I respect it. Sounds like a man. Sounds like a man who's standing on business. He's not afraid to say the truth. I can only respect it. See you guys in the next one. I love you a long time. Goodbye, lads. If you believe in my content and want to support me, just know your help is needed. There's a bunch of great ways to support me, being PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, or joining my Patreon community down below. Patreon is the best way to support my channel, and you'll get a bunch of cool perks depending on what tier you join. Another great way to support me is by buying my merchandise on thetravelingclat.com. I regularly drop new merch designs like this beautiful hat, or this amazing shirt, where you can support the channel and get something cool for yourself. I also have an amazing Discord community with people from all over the world. Thank you so much for your support.